The MMA world is on fire right now, with massive headlines shaking up the sport. Kevin Lee has finally broken his silence after footage of him getting knocked out in sparring went viral. Meanwhile, Dana White isn't holding back in defending Jon Jones against Tom Aspinall's comments, and Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo have broken down exactly what went wrong in Israel Adesanya's brutal knockout loss. We've also got Dominic Cruz backing Dricus du Plessis once again over Sean Strickland, and some unexpected drama brewing between Alex Pereira and Dricus du Plessis. And if that's not enough, Chael Sonnen has recruited Colby Covington for the Ultimate Fighter 33, adding even more chaos to an already stacked coaching lineup. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive straight into it. Kevin Lee breaks. Silence on viral footage. Footage emerged of Kevin Lee getting dropped during a sparring session. Kevin Lee went for a flying knee on Murali Husinov during a sparring session, and he hit him with a right hook that flatlined Lee. Kevin Lee broke his silence on the clip, saying, "I don't know who posted that video or why, but I'm heading right now to find out. I can only blame myself for showing mercy and pulling my knee back, but it's training, so I thought, let me not blast him. I see I shouldn't have been playing around with a guy like that. Since they want to start showing sparring, I'm going to start showing sparring from now on." Dana White disagrees. W.O. Tom Aspinal on Jon Jones' GOAT status. Dana White recently sat down with Piers Morgan and completely shut down Tom Aspinall's stance on Jon Jones. Aspinall believes that Jones's history of failed drug tests disqualifies him from the GOAT debate. But Dana has a very different perspective. Dana said, "I disagree with 100%. What you deserve and what you go out and get are two totally different things. When you think about Jon Jones and how good he really is, and then you think about the lifestyle he was living outside of the octagon, it actually makes it more impressive." According to Dana, Jones' ability to dominate despite his issues outside the cage only makes his accomplishments even greater. This debate has been going on for years. Some argue that his PED failures should disqualify him from GOAT discussions, while others, like Dana, believe his sheer skill and dominance inside the cage override everything else. Aspinall is far from the only fighter to criticize Jones. Many in the MMA community have questioned whether his achievements would have been possible without performance enhancers. But at the same time, Jones has never lost a fight legitimately, and his resume is filled with elite names. So what do you think? Does Jones deserve the GOAT title despite his controversies? Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo analyze Israel Adesanya's knockout loss. Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo have given their takes on Israel Adesanya's stunning knockout loss to Nassourdine Imavov, and they both believe one small mistake changed everything. At the start of the second round, Adesanya suffered an eye poke, but instead of taking time to recover, he told the referee he was fine to continue. Moments later, he switched stances from southpaw to orthodox, a seemingly small adjustment, but one that Imavov immediately capitalized on. The Frenchman stepped in and landed a perfectly timed right hand, sending Adesanya crashing to the canvas. Cejudo broke it down.
Izzy was doing everything. He's doing what he needed to do. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked fast. Izzy was landing. Izzy was trying to keep him off balance, and he attempted a couple takedowns early in the fight, Henry, as you saw. That kind of puts little things in your head. Izzy gets poked in the eye, chooses to continue, switches stances, and then Imavov, he's very sneaky with that right hand, comes over the top, lands it flush. He wasn't out of there, but that follow-up put him down completely.
You said something that hit the nail on the head, Kamar, and I'm glad you kind of brought it up. He switched stance like in fight zone. He was southpaw, he threw the kick, and then he switched stance, and he switched stance again. When he switched stance again, Imavov just freaking catch him with that overhand right, and that's pretty much all she wrote. It only takes one hand in mixed martial arts. It's not boxing, it's not kickboxing. That 4-ounce glove changes everything. I feel like Izzy is still dangerous. I feel like, to me, is like this was one of the fights where he just got caught.
Both guys look good. Shout out to Imavov. He's definitely elevated himself to that very, very short list, Henry, of potential next contender for that title.
They both believe that Adesanya is still dangerous, but this loss has put Imavov in a position to be a legitimate contender in the division. What's next for Adesanya? Does he take time off? Does he get an immediate rematch? Or is it time for a different path? Dominic Cruz predicts Dricus du Plessis will beat Sean Strickland. Dominic Cruz is once again backing Dricus du Plessis to defeat Sean Strickland when they rematch at UFC 312. On the Anik and Florian podcast, Cruz said,
"And Dom, in the main event, Sean Strickland got off to a great start, in my opinion, against Dricus du Plessis. What does he need to do a little bit differently here against DDP to get the win?
Well, what I love about this matchup is it doesn't come down to the tools necessarily. It comes down to the mindset. And I think DDP just has such an iron mind is the best way to put it. It is iron. And I'm not hating on Strickland in any sense of the matter, but I don't know if I would say he has an iron mind. I would say that his mind is there and he's strong and he's tough and he's got a championship mindset, but I don't know if it's an iron mind. Like when you look at DDP, you cannot piss him off. He doesn't give away his power is the best way I can put it. You can try everything in the book to shake DDP and he will not afford you the luxury to be shook. Whereas I don't see that with Sean Strickland necessarily. Right. He will gladly give out his power to anybody in the world. If you walk by him and nudge him wrong, he will sleep you in the middle of the street and give you an opportunity to sue him. That is giving away your power. And if you're as some would say, a weaker person to do that, that's not true, because the fact that that's even an option means, is that weakness or is that a strength that you can't, keep your stuff in? An iron mind keeps that stuff in. You never gave away your power. And DDP just hasn't seemed to do that once, ever.
Cruz sees Strickland's unpredictable, emotional nature as a potential liability, especially in a high-stakes rematch. Strickland is known for his relentless pressure and durability, but Dricus showed in their last fight that he can handle it. The rematch is shaping up to be another war. But according to Cruz, Strickland's emotions might be his downfall. Daniel Cormier thinks Adesanya's title run is over. Daniel Cormier doesn't believe Adesanya is done fighting, but he does think his championship window is closed. On his YouTube channel, DC said, "I believe Adesanya is done fighting for titles, but what I do not believe is that he is done as a fighter. What I saw in round 1 was enough for me to believe that he can still compete." Cormier believes that instead of jumping right back into title contention, Adesanya should take fights that allow him to rebuild. He's earned the right to fight lesser competition right now. He doesn't need to keep facing contenders on the verge of a title shot. He could fight in co-main events and still add value to pay-per-views. DC also pointed out that one of Adesanya's biggest strengths, his ability to see punches coming, might be fading, which could be a serious issue in the later stages of his career. Chael Sonnen adds Colby Covington to his TUF 33 coaching staff. Chael Sonnen and Daniel Cormier will be coaching the Ultimate Fighter 33, and Sonnen has confirmed that Colby Covington will be joining his team. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Sonnen said, "The head coach will be Clayton Hires, my coach, my mentor. Colby Covington will be joining us too. People don't realize how much he gives back. He mentors and coaches many fighters, but he doesn't want people knowing he's a nice guy, so I won't ruin his gimmick." He also revealed that Vinny Magalhaes, the last man to defeat Gordon Ryan, will be part of the coaching staff. With Sonnen and Covington on the same team, things are bound to get chaotic. Alex Pereira hates Dricus du Plessis. Sean Strickland recently revealed that Alex Pereira, who will be in his corner at UFC 312, has a serious grudge against Dricus du Plessis. Strickland said, "Alex is an angry mother here, and for some reason, he hates Dricus. I don't know what Dricus did to him, but the way Alex looks at him sometimes, I'm like, dude, I'm fighting him, not you." Pereira has previously hinted at moving back down to middleweight, and if du Plessis beats Strickland again, this could set up a massive fight between them. It's unclear why Pereira has an issue with du Plessis, but if he does decide to move back down, things are about to get interesting in the middleweight division. That wraps up today's MMA news. Do you agree with Dana White's defense of Jon Jones? Should Adesanya take easier fights like Cormier suggests? And what's up with Alex Pereira's grudge against Dricus du Plessis? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates.